Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Okay, you're probably asking, what in the hell is she doing with those flowers? I'm trying to instill something in you that I came across lately in a really odd way. But had I not slowed down long enough, right, and thought about, why am I resisting this? Why am I not? That it was about flowers, right? Flowers to me are a big deal. They make me happy no matter what, right? You could be having the most awkward day and flowers just make you happy. They do. So that's why they're on here as a constant reminder that even if you're coming to this video and you're watching it and you're multitasking and you're doing 1,000 other things, get yourself some flowers. Men, women, flowers are, get out in nature, go for a walk, do something, right, that makes you happy. That's why this is on here. The other day, this video is touching on the eclipse points, and I'm going to put this video out here because I have enough people coming to me for readings, sending me emails, and it's like, chicken licking, the sky is falling. It's not falling. This is a great opportunity, which is why I kind of stepped back from social media for a minute. I want to take advantage of this too. Where do I need to grow? Where do I need to look at things? Where do I have an unbiased approach to something? Are my truths still my truths? Do I really believe in this stuff? Do I want to do something different? Is this my belief anymore? Anything across the board, right? It's a great time to do this. Eclipses are times where the energy is really heightened, right? It's where certain things we can control ourselves if we have enough self-awareness and we want to do the work and we're just, we're not lazy. We're not letting life pass us by, right? That's a lot of tough stuff there. People often think that, the word too is spirituality has really gotten way off track. You know what I mean? It's like people just run with that because this isn't working, so I'm going to run this way with something else. The diversion here is you're running away from religion and you're running into spirituality. The oxymoron here is you can't have one without the other. They are the same thing. Religion is so off track, and it's not under a roof of a church anymore, or a synagogue, or a mosque, or anything like that, or it's not screaming religious things from a tower somewhere, right? And no disrespect to any of that, but your holy grail is in here. That's where your religion is. Sadly, we've gotten to a point in this world where, very few places anymore are not man-made religions, right? But your true religion is always in here. That's where your holy grail is. That's where you have life from. That's where you're coming at things from, coming to things with, right? It's in here. So these eclipses right now are really helping us as individuals be able to really take an honest look at ourselves without judgment. This isn't a Pollyanna video either. For those of you that, follow this channel, you realize I'm a straight shooter, and I am. But this is a place where, too, you can't do that if you're not honest with yourself, if you're not patient and loving and caring about yourself. You can't come at life from any other direction except fear. Love or fear. One of the two is in here. So you want to know what you're housing, right? These eclipses really help us. And I think the reason that they're fearful is because people, where we're at right now as a world, is it's lack mentality, right? It's lack. It's like there's not enough. There is enough for everyone. But what happens here with greed is I'm going to take because what if there's not enough? I want to have enough. That's the ass backwards way to be doing something, right? But this didn't just happen one day. It's happened over a long period of time. So eclipses come in and they help us change, the course of the cruise ship, which feels like we're trying to turn that in a bathtub, right? There's going to be a little, damage here. There's going to be a little, unpleasant feelings, or a little bit of unsettledness or not really knowing. But this is where trust comes in. That outside of your five senses, because you can't picture how this is going to go or how could this possibly turn around, you have to have trust and faith that it's going to. And you don't need to see the full picture. You just need to hold space for yourself, grow as an individual, and show up like that. The more people that show up like that, there's power in numbers. There's strength in numbers. You know what I mean? So it's just a different mentality of, I don't have to be jealous or fearful or vengeful or spiteful or, feel like I've got to take from someone else for myself to thrive. It doesn't work like that. And I think we're seeing that we don't have to agree on everything. We can agree to disagree. But at least if we have our moral compass in the right place, right, we can change the world, literally. So what I want to say is what I was meditating on was exactly that the falsities, the dis-ease that we've got now that we're starting to see show up in your body, in the world, in disease, in this and that, comes from here. And it's our perspective on things, right? And that's what I'm saying. So what we want to do too here, I want to say all false ideas in my consciousness are now obliviated. That word obliviated will shock the nervous system, and it will help you get a healthy vitality, mindset, whatever you want to put on it. It turns things around, right? So we need to be conscious too of our words, because they're one thing when they're in here and we're rattling them around, right? But when we give breath to them and they come out of our mouth, we're starting to manifest that. So again, it's like, how diligent am I with the words that I use? How careful am I with what I really say to people and to myself, right? The universe doesn't realize that we're joking when we say something, right? So be conscious of what you're saying. It may sound funny at the time, but be conscious of the fact that we're now putting it in the ethers to start the plane coming. So just be conscious of that is all I'm saying. We don't realize we do it. But when we take a minute, like now, we look at these things, right? So that's what I want to say about that. Now, I've got cards here. They're for everyone for the eclipse, right? So where it shows up for you, I think if you're honest enough with yourself, you're going to realize where you shoot yourself in the foot, where you give your power away. We realize these things. We do, if we take a minute to stop and think about them, right? If we're not so busy trying to talk on our cell phone or watch TV or who's doing this or gossiping about this, when we're really honest and we take a minute to sit with ourselves, how much do you like your own company? Because if you don't even want to be with you, that should say something. Fix that, right? That's not a good thing. So what we come in with is the tenderness card, the hope card, and the patience card. Okay, and I'm using these for a reason, because they're really needed now. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter if you're spiritual, not spiritual. It doesn't matter. Your soul is showing up here, so we'll take it. Now we've got the snake, the fish, the star, which we have twice. Okay. We've got Hesta here. I'll explain all these. We've got the star card again. And we've got the ring. Okay. Now, I just want to say this. First and foremost, before you can help anyone else, you're not here to fix someone, right? So cut yourself some slack. Give yourself permission to be who you are. And then in that, we help other people. Right? So just something to keep in the back of your mind here. Okay? Now I'm going to put a lot in this video. Take what you will. Don't take any of it. it's up to you. I'm trying to give everyone something here in the way that I think that, how I can kind of feel this. Okay, it is how I'm coming at this here from a mind, body, soul perspective. And it's got to be all three, guys. Otherwise, that's why the hatred, the fear, the resentment, the jealousy, that kind of stuff shows up. And it's going to show up eventually. I assure you of this. It's going to hit your body somewhere. And at that point, it's a hell of a lot harder to get things back on track. So let's try to turn the cruise ship now, right, and deal with that. So that's what I've got. All right, now where the cards are here, I think that this is about honoring yourself, boundaries, right? For yourself, they not only keep you in alignment, they keep you, present, and they allow other people to, treat us in certain ways. And when they don't, we're aware of what our boundaries are, and we're aware that that's not okay, right? So be gentle and powerful is what the tenderness card is. And you can't be powerful if you're not gentle first. If you're not, if you're not nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself and holding your own hand and asking yourself, what do I need that, what nurtures my soul? What nurtures my body? What nurtures my mind? Right? That takes power. But you can't do that. You can't have strength without being gentle first, right? Sadly, we come up upon these things ass backwards, where we think we've got to be powerful, right? But you can't come from that. That's a fear beast. Power is silent. It's not screaming from the rafters. It's not, causing wars or shooting someone in the back or being manipulative. There's shadow sides to everyone. Everything that, has a pro, has a con. We need to be able to accept all of these kind of things too. All the planets have shadow sides too, right? Venus, everyone's talking about Venus all the time. That's about nurturing and self-love of yourself first. But the flip side to that is, I don't know how to do that, but I know I want what I want, so I'm going to be manipulative, right? Me saying that is one thing, but sometimes we don't realize those are the patterns due to the situations that we've grown up in. That's what we know. But until you're paying attention to that, you don't realize that's what you're doing, right? So these things are not always obvious. I'll get readings sometimes and people will say to me, well, how the hell did they not know? Well, did you say something? Did you bring it up? Not everyone that does something realizes that. Really good people make really shitty choices. And it doesn't mean that they even know at the time that it's that. You know what I mean? So be patient, be kind. Don't be abused, though. Know the difference there, okay? Now, hope, okay? Trust. Trust that things will resolve themselves, even if you don't see how that could possibly happen. Just surrender and trust that it will come to pass. And you'll be pleasantly surprised that it comes to pass in like a whisper. You don't even see it come in the door. You just realize one day, wow, today was a really good day. See what I'm saying? We anticipate how things are going to go. And we really, if we don't know, just release it. I don't know. And watch it come to pass. Okay, I'm not saying turn a blind eye to things you need to be responsible about. You know what I'm saying. Now, patience. Trust in divine timing. Again, right? I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know what it will look like, but I trust that it will show up in the best way possible for me. Okay, and release it at that. And then let it go. Don't harbor it. Don't plan for failure when you're looking for a miracle, because you'll get the failure, right? So just, again, release it. Do whatever you need to do that. Now, the snake card is about your instincts, right? We innately know, our intuition will tell us before the brain gets in there. That's what I'm saying. There's a quick window, though. You've got to trust your intuition, and that's a muscle. So the more you start to do that, the more you can get in there before your brain tells you, no, I shouldn't say that. That's just a horrible thing. I shouldn't think that about that person. It's just a horrible thing. If your intuition is telling you, this person is going to be detrimental to me, trust that. It's okay to say that. It's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to put yourself first. That's what spirituality is. Putting yourself first. And then from that place of fear or love, your choice, you can then share that, right? You're either going to share it from a place of fear, where we're going to have jealousy, rage, resentment, all that, or we can come from a place of love and realize, you know what? I just need to be patient here. This is where I want to say too, my 3 cents on this as far as relationships go, of all kinds, right? There is a difference between holding space for someone. You've at least got to be on the same wavelength to do that. Otherwise, you're holding the door here while this person is just doing this. But I'm not a big advocate either of your life stopping and waiting for someone to catch up. That means you're not progressing in the way that you're supposed to. Relationships are how we grow, but it doesn't mean we stop and wait for, we want this person though, but I don't want someone else. I don't want to go on with this person, so I'm going to stop my growth. Meanwhile, this person is going to do their own thing anyway, but that's not how it goes. See how these flowers, that's how this should go. It should just flow. Life should flow. And if a person isn't there right now, it doesn't mean they're not going to catch up with you. It doesn't mean you're not ever going to see eye to eye with a family member. It just means, you know what? In divine timing, this will resolve itself. And usually when we least expect it, right? Okay. Now you've got the fish, and that's the snake. It's wisdom. It's trust yourself. It's no, you have instincts. Trust them. Okay. Now the fishes card here. Okay. That's about remaining hopeful when you really can't see again how that's going to work out. Stay optimistic. This also speaks of finances. You may be struggling with something right now, right? It may be, it's fear of the unknown is what I really think sits around this card. But again, trust your instincts. Trust that things are going to work out. Keep, if you notice that your trigger point is, when I feel really stressed, I shop. Example would be with the fishes too. It's not just, but it can be anything. It's not always finance. Someone goes shopping, someone eats, someone gambles, someone does something else. We all have a different poison there. But when we realize that, ooh, maybe this isn't my best go-to. Maybe I ought to just sit for a minute, figure out why I do that. You know what I mean? What gets pushed at that minute that's making me do that? And take a look at that, right? Trust that you'll be able to resolve it though. Have faith in that, again, with patience. This is also a card of happiness. And we've got tenderness, hope, and patience. I think that great things are aligning here for you from a place of, caring about yourself, caring about the planet, caring about your neighbor, caring about your relationship. And I've had people say to me, well, I don't own this property, so why should I care? Sometimes I'm just dumbfounded, honestly. That just goes to show you, though, that it's someone that's got a me mentality, right? I don't own this property, so I don't give a crap what happens here. That's what got this world in the place that it's in. Now it's cleanup time. And it's having to face, crap, I contributed to this, and doing your part to clean it up, and not pushing the blame on someone else or something else, or I don't own this, or I'm renting this. If you don't take care of the things that you've got, right, anything. I know people that, we all do, that come from, they don't have a lot of window dressings, but my God, their heart is overflowing. And you would do anything to stay in their home. They don't care that they own it. They're taking care of it because they're there, and that's just the kind of person that they are. We want to kind of go in that direction, but in our own specific way, right? Our own unique way. You're here to do something that only you can do, right? And I'm not talking about career success now. I'm talking about just life in general. You know, there's nothing wrong with financial gain. There's nothing wrong with success in a career. There's nothing wrong with that kind of stuff. But at some point, we have to stop saying, I need more, and start just, I've got enough. It's enough. It's enough right now. It's reorchestrating that stuff. And the star card. We've got that card twice. Okay, and that's about trust, divine timing, clarity, inspiration, spirituality, which is boundaries, trusting yourself, loving yourself first, and then coming from that place, right? Of your holy grail in here, the religion no one seems to think they have anymore. It's in here. That's where spirituality is, though, too. That's the click. That's the aha moment. It's not about everyone else. It's about, I need to honor and self-respect me first, and then I can do that. I need to put the oxygen mask on myself first, and then I can do that. And that comes from your heart, which is religion. Okay? And realizing, again, I feel that I'm part of this. I'm an individual, but I'm part of this. That's I think really what the star card is really all about. It's like, it's we all we're again way off track with this is just an illusion, right? It's just basically what that is run rampant about is like, oh, I could do what the hell I want because this is just an illusion. There's no consequences here, right? Look around. There are consequences. This is not an illusion. And even if it is, if you're watching this, you're dealing with something that's not an illusion, right? Illusion just means, though, maybe it's not as bad as I think. Maybe I should stay present, count my blessings, that my heart beats without me having to do a damn thing about it, that I have breath to come out of my lungs. You know what I mean? I have teeth, I have eyes, I can hear. I can love. You have a heart. Right? These are the things where we need to be focused on. That's not an illusion, right? We need to fix this crap, right? And stop, if you're a light worker or a healer or a tarot reader or a, astrology or anything that you do, when the words come out of your mouth, think about the people that are hearing that. You know what I mean? It's too easy to say this is an illusion or religion isn't real or this is spirituality or what. You really need to know what you're talking about, and it really needs to be your truth. It doesn't necessarily need to be, you really need to know that, and just because something too is your truth, it doesn't mean it's true to everyone else. We need to know the difference, right? Okay. All right. Now I think too here what we need, this is what I was saying, this card with the star card and the ring card. Okay. I really just feel that we need to take a conscious assessment here of what are the things that cause us mental anguish, right? Where are we not tender with ourselves or anyone else? Right? There's a difference between strength and power, right? Again, it's not blowing through the village. It's having the courage to be kind and be gentle, right? But also to have boundaries and say, this isn't okay with me. There's a lot that goes on there. So that's kind of what you need to deal with that, okay? Try to deal with and look at honestly, unbiasedly, where you cause yourself anguish, right? Because that's where it's coming from. It's coming from you. And that in turn is what causes these dis-eases, right? So we want to get a handle on those things. With the star card too, I really feel that you're going to get a wish granted here. I really do feel that. It's just, I think some stuff needs to be cleared out. And that's where these eclipses are just asking us, where does a cycle need to be broken here? Where does a belief need to be let go? Where do I hold myself accountable where this isn't even mine? Why do I take on this stuff why do I put myself last, right? Things like that. And again, I think that this is relationships of all kinds, partnerships. You may be pleasantly surprised that when you clear this stuff out, you actually stumble into a healthy relationship, right? Sometimes we're like, I don't know what I would, if you really stop and think for a minute, how would I function in a relationship that didn't have dysfunction, right? When we really think about that and hear that, it's like, holy crap, that's mind blowing, But when we look at this, we're like, wow, I need to, really get a handle on this. That's where I'm going here. Trust wisely, okay? Not blind trust, not how we've been taught to do things. Trust wisely. If your instincts are saying, I'm not really sure, let's see, right? Trust that, okay? That's what I've got here. Love yourself first. Value yourself first. Ask yourself too, do I know how to ask for help? That could be something too. People suffer in silence all the time. When they finally decide to say something, a whole bunch of people can breathe a sigh of relief and like, me too, So don't think that you're the only one that carries a cross of something or carries a burden of something. You'd be pleasantly surprised that your neighbor or someone you don't even know is dealing with the same thing. You know what I mean? So that's what I've got. Unbiased, clear perception of yourself and what goes on around you. Be mindful. Again, you want to look at the shadow side of things too. Where do I maybe project things, right? None of these things need to be done with ill will. It's just sometimes, through that dance of life, we just don't realize where we might be pushing our beliefs on someone, when in fact that person really in that moment just needs us to hold a little space for them so that they can, see what they need to see and realize that it's okay, that kind of stuff. Who am I really? I really think these eclipses are asking, who am I? Would I allow myself, do I know who I am? Do I want to give myself that time and that space? Do I love myself? Do I know what love is? Or am I so terrified, that I don't allow myself that space? It's allow yourself this time. Allow yourself this opportunity. I assure you, the sky is not falling. From an external point of view, there's a lot of world powers that are not coming from a place of strength or a place of grace or a place of caring, or a place of gentleness. They're coming from a place of, I've got to get them before they get me. And that's what got this world here. We need to reshuffle things. So yeah, is that going to be unpleasant? Most likely. But will we get through it? Absolutely. But we have to do the work on ourselves first, because we're the ones showing up like that, right? We don't want another ego out of control, right? We don't want another Hitler kind of life. We don't want, that's just check in with yourself, right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that these things happen when we don't check in with ourselves. And we, you ask the question, do you really want to do that? Right? Because you may have some ramifications there. You may hurt some people, right? These are the things where we want these powers that be to change. But we need to change ourselves first and really look at that. And that's why I'm putting this out here. Again, the flower thing on here. See how, just go with the flow. And I'm not saying be ignorant. Don't take your responsibility seriously. I am. But when you come from a place of I don't have all the answers. I'm going to let this settle where it settles because I don't have that answer. And I trust that it'll work itself out, right? But I'll go focus on the things that I do have control over. The reason, too, I'm putting this flower thing on here is the other day, everything for me is a solid. I don't have anything, even carpets that have like designs on them. Turkish rugs are my thing, but aside from that kind of, I have everything is a solid. My pillows are solid, my furniture are solids. But the other, I just wanted flower sheets. I have no idea why. I've never had them before. It's not my thing. It was blowing my mind. So I disregarded it. And then I'm like, you know what? I have to give in to this. I just have to see where this goes. It's bizarre, and it's sheets, and I just have to give into it. Do you know that I have never gotten a better night's sleep than with those stinking sheets? And had I fought that and not given myself that simple little pleasure, my heart was telling me, you need these sheets to nurture yourself. Go get the freaking sheets, right? So I did. And lo and behold, it worked itself out, right? So that's what I'm saying here. I hope that I didn't come across, and I hope that you don't take this in a way where I'm pushing my things on you. I'm getting a lot of behind the scenes kind of things here, right? But the main thread is, though, we need to pull things back to, and maybe for the first time, here, your heart center, right? And being honest with people in your lives and choices that you made, and not wasting time, because life is precious, right? So don't not say something for year after year after year when you know in your heart of hearts it's not where you want to be. You're not happy. It's having that tough conversation and saying, look, you're my parents, you're my siblings, you're my partner, but I need a minute because I think I'm off track here. And then take it. It doesn't matter what the response is. That in and of itself is huge. That is coming from a place of being tender, and through that you can be strong. That takes massive strength to be gentle with yourself, right? Having hope when you can't for the life of you figure out how something will resolve itself, how some health matter will rectify itself, how some miracle will come. Have hope that I don't have all the answers, but I trust that it will reorchestrate itself. And that's being patient with yourself and other people. And that means saying, you know what, I don't know, but then not beating yourself up over it. Don't know and then release it. Go do something else, right? Those kind of things. Trust your instincts. I feel something is coming for you here that is going to come out of the blue. But there's things that need to be looked at first, right? That's all these eclipses are. They're life-changing, yeah, but you as the individual, these are freeing you up to say, you know what, I don't want to be in corporate anymore. I want to go do this, right? Or I need to put a timeline on this so I can do this. And it's just being present. That's the other key. Be present. Be where you're at. And be grateful about that. Find something that your heart beats on its own. That you have eyes. That you have teeth. You have a tongue. You can taste food. You have food. These things get so overlooked. They're blessings to have those, right? They're not something you're entitled to. It's a blessing. Be grateful, right? But let's try to get ourselves on the right path here so that we can change this world, right? I'd love to see world peace in my lifetime, or at least a big shift in that direction, right? We don't need to hate each other. There is enough on this planet for everyone, right? But greed somehow got in the back door, and it just kept pushing until the point now where it's enough, and that's where we step in, the people, right? So I hope that this helped you in some way. I think I'll get the videos back on track. I can't honestly tell you when, because I'm taking advantage of this opportunity here. to look at some things for myself and to change some things for myself. And again, I can't show up and be helpful to anyone if I'm not able to take these breaths for myself too, right? So I practice what I preach. I assure you of that. Okay, so I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Okay, I hope that this video gives you something here that you can work with and that propels you forward in a self-loving, self-honoring way. Okay.